Good afternoon. The journalist, playwright and civil rights campaigner Nell McCafferty has died at the age of 80. Ms McCafferty was a founding member of the Irish women's liberation movement and an outspoken advocate for women's rights, the poor and those who suffered injustice. President Higgins said she had a unique gift in stirring people's consciousness.
I hear Mike Murphy, Gay Byrne, Rodney Rice, John Bowman, Liam Nolan, and I've had them up to their gate. It goes on year after year after year. Women do not exist in radio. We are an invisible species.
Direct, witty and impossible to ignore, Nell McCafferty was for a time the face and voice of Irish feminism. She first became involved in politics during the civil rights movement in her native Derry, then moved to Dublin where she worked first with the Irish Times and then as a freelance journalist.
I'm busy all day in the courts doing both the column and talking to people. I get involved in an awful lot of social work.
As well as groundbreaking court reporting, she also wrote about major national news stories, including the Kerry Babies Tribunal.
We have understood that never again will you have an all-male squad of men sitting in judgment on a woman.
Nell McCafferty was an outspoken advocate for women's rights and was a founding member of the Irish women's liberation movement. In May 1971, she was on the so-called contraceptive train from Belfast to Dublin.
Of course the country changed after that. Of course people said, what are we? Who are we? Let us now discuss in a rational way sex, pregnancy, romance, etc.
Nell frequently appeared on television and radio programmes, unflinching in her views and beliefs, a staunch advocate for people who suffered injustices. Diane Connor, RTE News.
Within minutes of the news, tributes to Nell McCafferty started. The Taoiseach said it was with great sadness he learnt the news, adding that Nell McCafferty wasn't afraid to enter every battle for gay and women's rights. He said she left Ireland a much better place than she found it, playing her part with spirit and style. Northern Ireland First Minister Michelle O'Neill described her as a trailblazer, feminist, civil rights campaigner and proud daughter of Derry.
Nell was just absolutely phenomenal, and she burst on the scene in the Republic, already a veteran of the civil rights movement in the North, and she really brought a blast of northern realism into the Republic at a time that there were a lot of sort of senior gents of a very conservative mindset who thought that they, were always going to prevail.
Labour Party leader Ivana Bacik said it was an honour and a privilege to have known her and to have had such fun with her over the years.
She was intellectually fearless. She did not hesitate to ask a difficult question of a bishop. For example, she did not hesitate to criticise a judge. And these are all things that are much more common nowadays, but they really weren't back in the 70s, 80s and even early 90s.
Also on X, the singer Mary Coughlan said, "We owe you, sister. Rave on."